So a lot of guys, even when I train right now, they come to my gym and I make them spend time, repetitious time like I did, on technique. They don't like it. They just want to beat bags, beat hand mitts, spar. Well, how can you do all this if you don't know the real technique that it takes to do it? So that's what's happening. We missing all that because soon you come to the gym, first thing you want to do is hit something. In our day, it wasn't like that. You knew what kind of fighter you were. You knew how to jab. You knew how to throw a right hand. You knew how to throw every punch. You knew how to counter every punch. You knew how to defend every punch. You knew boxing from here. Gotta rank him probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get, and that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class.
Today I get some rounds with the GOAT. One of the GOATs. You know what I mean? 2 GOATs. Iron sharp.
After a recent training session with Roy Jones Jr., it's clear that Terence Crawford is stepping into elite territory as he prepares for a potential showdown with Canelo Alvarez. My biggest boxing secret is that I never stop learning, Crawford shared before hitting the gym with one of boxing's all-time greats. Jones's key advice? Focus on bulking up. Build as much weight and muscle as possible.
How do you think Terence Crawford to handle the weight? So he come in lighter? Can he come right around the weight limit?
Come in as big as he can get. You get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit.
Having recently met with legends like Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather, Crawford has now brought Roy Jones Jr. into his training camp. But Roy's role isn't limited to just coaching, he's mentoring Crawford. Jones himself made a legendary climb through multiple weight classes, just like Terence is attempting to do now.
Yes, we want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up.
Roy Jones Jr. once captured a world title at super middleweight, the same division Crawford is moving into to face Canelo. But Jones also won titles at middleweight, light heavyweight, and even heavyweight. That kind of versatility makes him the perfect figure for Crawford to learn from as he attempts a 14-pound jump from super welterweight to super middleweight.
Bud, Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight. For boxing, I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough. So right now, I think it go either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that went up and waited.
Beyond sharing advice, Roy Jones and Terence Crawford got physical, sparring for several rounds, running treadmill sprints, swimming laps, and doing intense strength and conditioning sessions together.
Because that's why I beat James Hunt. James Hunt was one of the best fighters of all time. One of the best defensive fighters
James did, that was...
But he ain't moving his feet. So because I got the full deep part of me, when he come at me, I'm moving my feet. I'm changing my whole location. When I come at him, he doing this. My hands too fast. I'm gonna find it. Yeah. You only gonna do that 1-2 times, I'm gonna find it. Because my hands too quick. So people get the wrong misconception that defense is this. No. Defense sticks. The wherever your backward is, that's your defense. So your rhythm is...
Despite not having fought since his 2020 exhibition with Mike Tyson, Roy Jones's strength was still impressive, both to Crawford and the other boxers in the gym. After training, Jones had nothing but praise for Bud Crawford.
Racism is promotion.
Right, he don't want no part of Bud, what that means.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bud, what are your thoughts on...
Still, Roy Jones has expressed real concern about Crawford's weight. As one of the most dominant boxers of his generation, Jones remains invested in the success of today's stars, especially Crawford and Canelo, 2 of the sport's top pound-for-pound fighters. Their potential matchup has boxing fans buzzing across the globe.
It makes sense, and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight. And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
No. It's Crawford who wants it. He wants the chance to prove he's the best.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
And and again, that's one of what's happening on the show.
But the major obstacle remains the weight difference. In an interview with Mill City Boxing prior to training with Crawford, Roy Jones gave his honest take on the fight. While he praised Crawford's skills, he leaned toward Canelo as the likely favorite due to size and power.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What does he got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
I like Terence, but I've got to lean towards Canelo early on because of the size, said Jones. But if Terence survives that early pressure, he's a serious problem. If he can handle the power, he'll beat Canelo. Jones emphasized that Canelo's punching power is the X factor. If you can hurt Bud, you can change his fight plan. If you can't, you're in trouble.
Because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What does he got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he?
If Crawford can avoid Canelo's dangerous punches and rely on his superior technique, he might pull off a historic upset. While this dream matchup is still in the fantasy stage, Canelo is currently focused on his next opponent, with IBF interim champ William Skull being a rumored name. Interestingly, Roy Jones had previously believed both Crawford and David Benavidez could beat Canelo before changing his stance.
Not right now. I want to see him. I want to see Crawford come up some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight was done, Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fighter fight. I mean, it'll be tough. But right now, that's gonna be a tough fight for both fighters. We got to see how Crawford carries the weight.
What about Jamal? Based on what you saw from Canelo, how does he match up?
Jones began with Benavidez. It's a tough fight. Benavidez throws a lot. If Canelo can't hurt him in the first few rounds, I don't see him winning. Benavidez, a two-time 168 pounds title holder, has been campaigning hard for a Canelo bout for over 2 years. But Jones questioned whether Canelo is even willing to take that risk.
For the proper fight for the proper opponent. When you fight a guy coming up 2 weight classes, you're supposed to bully him. If he'd fought Floyd Mayweather that way back in the day, we'd saw a much better fight. But he didn't. But he's learned now, and that shows you that he's improved and he understands boxing more now because he bullied the smaller guy, which is what you're supposed to do. What you say?
What about Crawford, boy?
Formerly regarded as the world's best welterweight, Crawford is willing to move up 2 full divisions for a chance at boxing glory. Canelo, on the other hand, has downplayed the idea, claiming a win over Crawford wouldn't add much to his legacy. But Roy Jones disagrees. If anybody can do it, it's Crawford. You can't tell him no. Jones recalled giving up 33 pounds to fight and defeat John Ruiz for the heavyweight title in 2003, just to prove he was pound for pound the best.
It's a hard one to call, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove the world that he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo comes to the...
Jones believes Crawford is driven by that same hunger to do something historic. Who wouldn't want to see the pound-for-pound best of yesterday versus today? If Crawford builds the right weight and stays true to his style, hitting without being hit, he can win. If he can take a punch at that weight, this becomes a real fight.
Bud, Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it go be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that went up in weight class. How do you think Terence Crawford should handle the weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
Come in as big as he can get. If you get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit.
As someone who held titles in 4 divisions, Jones said Canelo should remain at super middleweight. I never understood why he moved up to 175 to fight Dimitri Bivol. He already beat Sergey Kovalev, who was on the decline. Bivol was in his prime. It was a different animal. Stick to your division and dominate there.
Canelo did what he had to do to get the victory.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there. So that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
You'll see. Come 12.
Go to decision as opposed.
Despite all that, many boxing insiders believe the weight gap is too wide. One person who strongly disagrees? Two-division world champ and boxing analyst Tim Bradley. On his YouTube channel, Bradley broke down both fighters' styles and concluded that Crawford will dominate Canelo. Even as the smaller man, Canelo hasn't knocked anyone out since 2021, Bradley noted.
Would you agree with that?
I don't know. He was boxing well, and then he just stopped doing what he was doing earlier. I don't know. I can't call it.
Do you think Canelo slipped as a fighter?
No, I don't. I just think that, William was doing a good job neutralizing Canelo power punches.
Though no date has been confirmed, talks of Crawford versus Canelo have circulated since late 2024. The matchup would pit Crawford, a slick switch-hitting technician, against the aggressive, power-punching counterpuncher that is Canelo Alvarez. It's a dream fight in every sense.
Dangerous fight, man. That's an extremely dangerous fight, dude. And Canelo lands one bomb, bro, on Crawford. It might not be good. It might not be good.
Bradley, however, doesn't see Canelo's power being a factor anymore. People keep saying he's going to knock Crawford out. When was the last time that happened? Bradley referenced the recent Usyk versus Fury bout, where Usyk, 50 pounds lighter, still won. If weight was everything, Fury would have won that fight.
He just told me Crawford beats Canelo.
Hey, Crawford beats anybody he steps in the ring with. Anybody. He don't go. No one beats. No one beats Terence Crawford.
And his athleticism and defense to get out of the way, he should be able to beat Canelo, man. Slow plodding forward.
Bradley continued. Canelo is the same height as Crawford and started his career at 147.2. He's a great fighter, but so is Crawford. Great fighters figure it out. Although Canelo last stopped an opponent in 2021, Caleb Plant, he has since beaten big names like Golovkin, Charlo, Ryder, Munguia, and Berlanga. Bradley added, I studied both fighters at 3 a.m., and Crawford is going to beat the brakes off Canelo.
Quickness, throws a lot of hooks. Crawford just get away from all of those, get underneath them, bro. He should be able to beat Canelo, man. I'm telling y'all.
I'm skeptical about the fight. I will back Crawford because, again, I think that he's special, and he's a friend of mine. But that's a dangerous fight, man. That's an extremely dangerous fight, dude. And Canelo lands a bomb.
Bradley doubled down this week, posting another video where he called out Canelo directly. Stop running. Give Crawford the fight. Fans want it. Crawford deserves it. He pushed back against the narrative that Canelo's size would be too much. Canelo started at 147 pounds, just like Crawford. Same height. Let's not pretend otherwise.
I'm letting y'all know right now, he about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez. Yes, he is. Number 2, Devin Haney. You want to get back, man, go back to your roots, bro. Go back to where you started, bro. Where'd you start? You started in Mexico.
Bradley didn't hold back. You walk around Mexico like a hero, but you're ducking Crawford. This is the fight fans want. He pointed out that Canelo, 62.22, is boxing's biggest global star, while Crawford, 41-0, is one of the most skilled. However, critics argue that Crawford didn't look dominant in his last bout against Israel Madrimov, taking too many clean shots. Meanwhile, Canelo has already proven himself against larger, stronger opponents.
And go back, get one of those guys out of there, man. Go back, start there. That's where you start. Go back to your roots, bro. Get some of that humble pie, bro. Go back, start where you started. Start where you started at. And, bro, I'm telling you, you go back where you started, you're gonna come back up on top.
Some say if Crawford is serious, he should go through David Benavidez or Artur Beterbiev first to show he can handle elite fighters at 168 or higher. The idea of skill versus power excites many, but Crawford's age, 37, and lack of experience at higher weights make it risky. Canelo doesn't need the fight. He's already a legend. Crawford, though, has more to prove. If it happens, Crawford's trainer Brian McIntyre said he would study the Canelo versus Bivol fight. That fight made Canelo move his feet. That's what we'll focus on.
That believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. Just real simple. It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Hey, Terrence gonna get in there and do what he needs to do, perform.